Hi, this is Dave and welcome to the Table, a series of videos where I review and discuss various board and card games, looking at them from a family perspective. Today we're going to be taking a preview look at Angels, Michael's War by ANSR Entertainments. Now this is a 2 to 4 player card game of good versus evil. Now you take on the role of one of Michael's commanders and you're going to gather up your army of angels to defeat demons and claim major victories. Let's take a look at this game, how it's played, and I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, let's take a look at the components that come in Angels, Michael's War. And this is a prototype version of the game, so it may or may not reflect the final product that you will receive. And first thing that I wanted to point out here is that there are 2 decks that come in this game. We have the Infernal deck and we have the Divine deck. Let's take a look at them real quick. First we have the Divine deck here, which is going to be a bunch of demons. There's shadows in here, and there's also some cards in here that are called major victories that we will be attempting to play our angels against in order to defeat these and score victory points. Now let me show you a few things about these cards here. First of all, if you notice here in the top, there's going to be a set number that these cards come in. So there's a collection of cards that each set will have, and there will be expansions available for this game. Next we have the name of the card and we have some artwork. It's a demon type, and then down at the bottom there's going to be a few different things here. There's going to be some abilities here, like this says Redemption, and it says this card gets +1 victory points per card with the Redemption ability on your score pile. So there's going to be cards that have that on there. There's going to be these 2 symbols here are going to be the faith symbols that it's going to take to defeat this demon. So it's going to take 2 love symbols in order to defeat him. And this is going to be worth 7 victory points to start, and then there will be additional victory points added for each of the redemption cards. So that's the card anatomy here for the Infernal deck. The Divine deck is going to have all of your angels, and there's going to be some of these cards here that will cast light. But these cards are also going to be coming in different sets, and the title and the artwork, and then they will have this ability, like here for example is the Redemption thing. And these are the symbols here. This is faith and this is hope that you will be using to defeat the demon. So let me get this game set up and I will show you how to play. Okay, I've gone ahead and set Angels, Michael's War up here for a 2-player demo to show you how this game is played. This is going to be a very basic demonstration of how this game works. The first thing that I did was I prepared both decks for play in a 2-player game. According to the rules, they recommend not playing with more than 4 sets of cards per deck. So what I did was I removed the cards from sets 5 and 6 from both decks. I have sets 1 through 4 in each one, and I have shuffled them up. Now, sets 1 through 4 are the more basic cards that are that come with this game. So some of the trickier cards are not in here, but they are pretty much self-explanatory on the cards themselves. In addition, there are the major victory cards shuffled in with the Infernal deck as well. So those cards are in here. Each player was then dealt a starting hand of 4 cards here. So let's take a look at the cards that come in this player's hand here. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. First of all, on these cards, there's going to be certain things that have abilities on them. For example, here with this Michael's Pyre, it says this card begins with a -3 victory points, and you get +1 victory point for each demon in your score pile. So if you have a lot of demons, this is going to work its way up into a positive number of victory points. This card also produces 1 faith and 1 hope symbol. So that is the information that's going to be most important for this card. Obviously, it's an angel, and it has the set number here and the title, artwork, and flavor text. We have another card here that has this single-handed ability, and with the single-handed ability, at the start of your turn, if this is the only card in your hand, right at the very start of your turn, this will produce 1 additional faith, hope, or love symbol until the end of your turn. So in addition to this love, it will produce an additional symbol. We also have these redemption symbols here, and these start off with 0 victory points, but the more cards that you have that are redemption cards, you will get 1 victory point for each one, per card. So these can become worth quite a number of points. And then we have these human form cards here, where these can be used to fight demons that require the human form ability. So you want to hold on to these, in addition to them producing this particular love symbol. And again, we have the victory points here. So these are the cards that come in the starting hand for this player. This one over here, we're going to have some pretty powerful cards. Here we have one of those redemption cards, a human form, and a couple of just generic cards that produce symbols. Now, what we'll do here at the start of the turn, or start of the game, is reveal the top 3 cards of the Infernal deck here. And each of these cards here is worth a certain number of victory points, and they have specific symbols that you're going to need in order to defeat them. First thing that I wanted to point out here is this one here has the Worldly Demon, and it has that human form condition where it says this can only be defeated by an angel card with the human form ability and the matching symbol below. So not only does it have to be in human form, but it also has to have that faith symbol too. Now, on the beginning of our turn, here's how this is going to play. I'll draw a card from the Divine deck and add it to my hand. Now, the rest of the turn is actually optional. What I could do, I could just say, all right, I drew my card, that's the end of my turn, your turn, in order to build up more resources in my hand. Or I can choose to attack and try to defeat as many of these demons as I can per turn. Now, this is good and bad. If I do this, if I use all of my resources, I can score some points up front, but I'm then going to be behind because I will only have 1 symbol coming off at a time. So I may want to pace myself unless there's something that's worth a whole lot of points that I can score with multiple cards. But for now, let me just show you what I can do. In order to defeat a demon, what I have to do is essentially like discard cards from my hand in order to defeat these particular demons. So if I'm looking here, I will look at totals of what symbols I produce in my hand and try to match them up here. So if I have this one, there's a human form right here. I have human form, but I don't match the symbol here, so I can't defeat him. But I can take a couple of these cards here, and I will take these 2 love symbols, and I will defeat one of these demons right here. So what I will do is I'll take these cards, and I'll place them all face down in my scoring pile here, and then reveal, at the end of my turn, I'll reveal this next demon here. And that would be this player's turn. This one here, we'll draw a card into our hand. And again, looking at the symbols, we'll see what we can do here. And let me look at this human form one. I can't defeat that worldly demon. But I can take these 2 cards here that produce 2 faith symbols, and I will defeat this angel of death here. Place those in my score pile. And again, revealing a card here, draw a card from the deck, and we will continue doing this, scoring cards and adding them to our scoring pile. Now, eventually we're going to be going through and we will come across one of these major victory cards here. And if a major victory card comes out and we match the symbols, we will get those points, but it will go face up in the victory pile next to our score pile. Once the 3 of these have been scored, that triggers the end of the game, one of the conditions. The other 2 conditions being there's no more cards to draw from the Divine deck or no more cards from the Infernal deck. Once the end of the game condition has been triggered, we'll take any cards that were left in our hand. They will go to a discard pile and they're not counted. Any cards in our scoring pile, we will then go through and add up all the victory points and figuring out what these specific ones are going to be worth, like with the redemption ones. And whoever has the most victory points wins the game. And that is Angels Michael's War. Okay, let's talk about Angels Michael's War here, and this is a set collection game where you are gathering up faith, hope, and love in an attempt to defeat demons and claim major victories. Right away, looking at this game from a family perspective, this game opens up the opportunity to have discussions about the spiritual battles between good and evil, the existence of heaven and hell, and the existence of God and demons. So this game brings it to light. It's very clear even on the description in the back of this game box of what one of the purposes of this game was. So that's really cool. So it offers some good faith discussions right away. Aside from that, the game play itself has a couple of unique things to them. Number one, that it is customizable in the sets that you can incorporate into your gameplay, and there are going to be expansions planned for this to have a greater diversity of gameplay experience for this game. There are some kind of cool mechanics in this game. Number one, you have set collection, which is always kind of a fun element in card play, but also there's a touch of like a kind of like a reverse deck building aspect to this game, and that is when you're essentially building your score pile, you have certain cards like redemption cards, so you're going to want to try and gain more of those cards and get them into your score pile. So either you're going to be using them from your hand in order to defeat demons, or you're going to want to try to defeat specific demons that have that redemption ability, so that they essentially will multiply the number of points that you will score. So that's one of the strategic elements, is almost like that reverse deck building experience. And then again, the customization aspect of this game to further expand your gameplay experience. Now, I did only play this as a 2-player demo, and so obviously with a 4-player game, you would incorporate more sets that come with this game. But essentially, this is a quick playing strategic card game where you are attempting to gather the most victory points. You can vary the pace of the game by how quickly you can claim those major victories when they come out. Sometimes you may want to let them sit on the table for a little bit in an attempt to score some higher pointed demons and kind of prolong the gameplay rather than ending it quickly by claiming that third major victory if they pop up soon enough. So a couple of strategic elements that add to this game for a fun experience, and that is Angels, Michael's War. All right, and if you are interested in supporting this project, which it is on Kickstarter right now, I have the information in the video description below. You can go ahead and click on that and go over and give your support to ANSR and help bring this project to life. All right, that's it for now, and join me again next time as we take a look at another game and we see how it makes it to the table.